These are his words. He says, I think it wiser, moreover, not to keep open the sores of war, but to follow the examples of those nations who endeavored to obliterate the marks of civil strife, to commit oblivion the feelings engendered. So this is the guy that got defeated in the war. He understood then, in my opinion, that's great insight, that's great foresight. He knew that leaving up monuments that kept the sores open would divide us. He knew that back in 1870. If he knew that, being a leader, how come we can't follow these same principles now? Why can't others understand that for us, and I won't just say African Americans, those who understand the true history, understand that these monuments are based on racism.
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, what I want to do is I want to make this a little bit personal. I want to give a little bit of a personal side to this. Many of the people here I'm familiar with, a lot of you guys know, my family has been here for over 165 years. I'm a direct descendant of the enslaved here in Parker County on both sides of my family. My mother. I had two ancestors that were linked to this court for nothing. They were beat over on West 7th Street, they were whipped, and they were drugged up into this courthouse lawn, and they were hung from the frame of that wheelhouse for nothing other than being black by Confederate who were part of the Confederate States of America. When I see that statue, that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
When I see that, it reminds me of every racist deal I've dealt with living here, and many of y'all have dealt with it. Y'all understand what it's like dealing with that kind of mess, being called nigga all the time, being thought of, being less than. That's what that reminds me of every time I see it. And I know everybody that's from here, I know that's black, sees that thing as the same way. Read this story. So I want to read you this account. This is from the Weatherford Herald, 1871. And this is an account of what happened to my ancestors. Weatherford experienced under another day of extraordinary commotion under the summer of 1861. Two nights previous, a colored man named Dick, belonging to Monroe Upton, was found under the bed in one of the chambers of Mr. Upton's residence, the present Hatchell House on North Main Avenue, as the female occupants of this room were retiring. One chance to look under the bed and discovered Dick. He was taken out and whipped. On his person, it was alleged a large dirk knife was concealed. The intruder could or could not give any satisfactory account of his clandestine position and was permitted to go on the promise never to again repeating the offense. The following day, some persons without authority of law, and this sits up here and represents law. Think about this. Under the authority of law, recaptured Dick, and a second time publicly beat him. At the whipping, he confessed that he and 3 others had determined to kill all white men and children in the town and take the white women as captives for the purpose of the colored race. He gave the names of his co-conspirators. My ancestors, Steve and Austin Young, belonging to Miss Polly Young, and one belonging to John A. Fane. The 3 were promptly taken into custody, and on the premise of William Johnson on the West Church Street, they were severely beat and chastised. It's said that a confession similar to that made by Dick was obtained from each. Some of the exasperated crowd decided on the hanging, and the succeeding day was fixed for the execution. That night, the 4 men were closely guarded in the courthouse, and early next morning, in the presence of nearly all the people of the town, and many from the county They were hung one after the other, to the frame on the wall of the courthouse square. The threatening acts terrorized the citizens. No efforts whatsoever were made to prevent the sacrifice of human life or change the summary operations of mob law to the punishment resulting from a trial by jury, conviction, and sentence from the courts of justice. If this thing is going to sit on this courthouse lawn, it represents justice and liberty for all. If you can extrajudiciously hang 4 men without a trial, that does not represent justice or liberty for all. Man, I'm done. I can't.